So we will open the meeting for Monday, September 11th at 6:30. Entertain a motion to accept the agenda as may be amended.
So moved.
Anything that needs to,
I'm good here. No?
I didn't see anything on mine that couldn't go under like other business or something like that. Okay, all in favor of the agenda presented, please say aye.
Aye.
I was not at these minutes meetings, so that's up to you guys.
Make a motion to approve the Monday special select board meeting minutes of August 28th. It was Chris and myself.
Yep.
It was just our standard Killington forward water and road updates. Got a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm asked for regular select board meeting minutes. Chris and I were here at that time. Can I get a
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do we have any select board comments or concerns?
I have one concern I'd like to bring up. I think at some point we need to look at customer service and hospitality as it pertains to our golf course.
Okay.
It was,
I'd like to, if it's gonna get into personnel stuff,
okay,
so let's do that in an executive session,
that's fine.
okay? Because you start talking about customer service, it's gonna get.
I was just, yeah, I
We'll put
was
that
leaving it
into
a broad nudge, but that's fine.
Yeah,
Yep, good.
folks will know, and they should know what we're going to executive session for anyway, so then they can guess from there.
Anything else?
No, I'm good with everything.
No, everything else is good.
Not a concern, but if you could mention to Rick on 375 Coffee House Road, there is a culvert which has heaved. And what it's doing is it's stopping the water flow coming down to where everything is wet there above it. And there is, when the road was built, they put in these big stone retaining walls, and one of them is now in the water. One of the drawbacks to it, it's paved over the culvert. But if Rick could take a look at it, maybe it's just dig it out a little, fill some gravel in,
So if you can take a ride with Ricky.
because it's a little bit, now that it's higher than it should be,
Okay,
okay?
yeah, we can
And
do
it's at
that.
375 on
Coffee house.
Coffee House Road, yeah. Okay.
Yep, we'll
And
take care of it.
That's the extent of what I have. Okay. Do we only have 3 people here?
Yep.
Okay. The floor is open. If any of you that are zooming in, or Patrick, have something you want to bring up that's not already on the agenda, please unmute yourself and let us know.
So Ryan or Oscar, do you have something that you want to say, or are you just listening in today?
This is Oscar, just listening in.
Okay, thank you.
Ryan, yourself? I'll take that as a yes, you're just listening in. Whit, you have anything?
I'm all set right now.
All right,
You
thank
okay?
you, Ed. All right, number 6 is the point of contact form. I believe you need that signed.
Yep.
I would expect that we probably have to approve this before we sign it.
Yeah, it'd probably be a good idea.
So we got in front of us, is this from Dufresne's group?
It
no,
was,
it
it's through the state of Vermont, but yeah, Dufresne Group is the one that forwarded it to me and put it together. So there just needs to be a change of point of contact for the TIF district.
Okay.
So what we're doing right now is we're the rule one, this is the rule 1100, TIF rule. Is this one here?
Yes.
Okay. So the single point of contact and certification of understanding, we understand that, we understand designate the following as our TIF district's single point of contact. Michael W. Ramsey Jr., this is the town manager. In the event that the single point of contact is unavailable, the following secondary point of contact is identified. Chet Hagenberth, Public Works Director. We further certify our understanding that in case any of the public official municipality, I would just put down for this here instead of municipality whose signatures appear on the certification and others shall cease to be such officials before the end of the life of the district. Such signatures shall nevertheless be valid. And that's just where you sign, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to move forward with the tax increment financing district point of sale. We did this a long time ago,
Yeah.
and at that time, it was just, we just had a town manager.
Right.
And we didn't have a second point or whatever. I mean, I got copied on all the emails, and she's still gonna do that, but this is a point of contact for.
I would second the motion.
Any other reason we can't do this?
No.
Okay, all in favor of signing off on this tax increment financing point of contact, please say aye.
I'd make a motion for the town chair to sign it.
Yeah.
Because it's only asking for signature one of an elected, I believe, right?
As directed. Second.
Is it under manager for a flood repair update?
It is under manager. A good bit of people from the town went to the active seniors picnic. And a big point of feedback there was that they wanted to hear a little bit more information on the road repairs along East Street, along with TIF district updates. So since there's more happening right now with flood repair, I thought I'd call that out on the agenda specifically. So East Mountain Road is a big project, and the town cannot get reimbursed through FEMA unless we go through the proper procurement procedures outlaid by the federal government. And anything over $250,000, any work that exceeds that, has to go out for bid. Those bids went out on Friday. We have a pre-bid meeting, I believe, lined up next week. I'll forward the board the link to that. And we understand that we're working with a very tight timeline to get as much work as we want to get done on East Mountain Road by November 1st. Will all the work get done? I'd be shocked if it did. And by all work, I mean replacing the culverts that run along East Mountain Road, and then putting a top coat on, and then putting guardrails back. So part of the pre-bid meeting will be a discussion with contractors on whether that's a realistic goal or not. So that's the update on East Mountain
And how many
Road.
contractors do we anticipate?
We sent 3 over email, and then we posted the actual solicitation
Okay.
on the bid registry.
So they know it's open.
They know it's
Yeah,
open.
Okay.
Yep.
So just to follow up on that, since I was the one that was in town when this first hit, and then I did go out with FEMA, okay? If it's over $250,000, it needs to go to bid, and it needs to be on the state bidding site. If it's under $250,000, okay, for the full repair, it still needs to go to a bid, okay? But it could be solicited from 3 different folks, okay? And I'm just gonna leave it at that.
That's good.
And that's, the 250 is per road, correct?
Yeah, I haven't met with, so Chet met with the FEMA representatives, and they went on site, and the goal of that trip was to decide how the projects would be split up. And I know there was some confusion between FEMA on whether it would be per culvert or per road, so that's just a follow-up I need to have with Chet. And I have had some discussions with individual board members on expediting the, I've been calling them tributary roads to East Mountain, which, I mean, I guess people understand what I mean by that.
Yeah.
Those need to be addressed in a timely
Yeah.
fashion as well. So we're gonna make that a priority this
So
week.
FEMA made it really clear when they were in here during the process, because they came through, you guys were having a meeting and I was on there, that East Mountain Road, the whole road is one project. And so what they said was you could split the paving as one project, the guardrails as one project.
That was my question, yeah.
But the road and the culverts were all one, which we knew at that time was gonna be over $250,000 for the culverts, okay? So, and the ditch work and everything. The side roads, okay, you call them tributaries.
Yeah,
Tributaries.
I call them the side roads.
It's probably more appropriate.
You know?
Yeah.
The side roads that lead onto East Mountain Road, okay, we felt that the majority of them, other than trail side and rim, I believe, were going to be underneath the $250,000, okay? And that, I'm kind of shocked that those other roads outside of them weren't already put together, okay? And also the rim road and the trail side, okay? I spoke with Nicole yesterday, or this morning, I think it was, and, you know, I'm being told that we've decided in-house to just put our work into East Mountain Road. And these other roads will come back to next year, okay? I'm gonna put this out here right now. The reason why East Mountain Road failed or fell apart was because of these other roads. So if we're going to put in all our effort into getting East Mountain Road up to speed and not do those other roads, and the winter comes in and we get early heavy rain in the springtime, I'll leave it at that.
We're back to square one.
Yeah, I think it's a good point.
So,
I'm sorry, Steve, so under.
No, you go ahead.
It's been a lot of catching up for me, so I've been running under some assumptions. And the thought was that that Nicole and Chet had put a great deal of effort into making sure that they had the bid and the quantities accurate for East Mountain, and wanted to do the same for each individual project. But my goal is to meet with Chet this week and then get a clear, ideally, we have a timeline. I think that's
Tough
what,
one.
yeah, I think that's what
That's a
Chet,
tough one, yeah.
I think that's what Chet should probably provide us on, okay, we know the timeline for East Mountain Road. What's the timeline for the side roads?
And does Bear Mountain Road qualify as a side road?
Bear Mountain Road is underneath the ski resort because it is a private road at this time, okay? So, but we did approve Nicole,
Yeah.
and whatever, to do a study for culverts and stuff.
Yeah.
They did size up the one culvert down,
The one the blocks came out from?
the one,
Yeah.
well, they got the one right at Bear Mountain Road or whatever, that's good. A little bit further up, then between the big one at the turn and down, that was caused from trail side up
Right.
area there. Okay, that's been designed by Nicole.
Castle Ring, yeah.
We filed the permit to the state. The state just this morning approved that culvert size,
Okay.
okay? The last week, they were questioning whatever, but they were going back and forth. They approved it this morning, and it should be within the next week that it will be, signed off approved. What we've done with the resort on this is that we know that they have the funds in their Sunrise Fund. The town's gonna buy the culvert, have the funds be bought, replaced from there, cut the check from them. And then the town's going to bring in Craig Mosier for the hourly rate or whatever that he charges. And then the town will get the money from Sunrise. Because the idea is that we're in the process of talking next of taking over Bear Mountain Road.
Right.
And we're engineering from Trailside to Bear Mountain Road. And that's why we want to make sure that the road is built to the specs that the town wants. So that's where we're at on that. But we're gonna get the work done for them, but we're not even using our money. We're getting the money up front from the condo association. It's a homeowners association.
The association,
Patrick Fisher. How long does the bids have to stay posted before they get awarded?
I think just a reasonable timeline, so they do have a date for when the bids are due. I don't have that right off the top of my head. I think it's about 2 weeks.
You could go as quick as 5 days on a bid, but I think since it's on the state website, I think we have 2 weeks out on that. So the Bear Mountain Road is not a bid.
Right.
It's a private road. I just want to make sure that if the question got asked after I talked about that. That's why I wanted to go.
Because that's what I'm saying, on the bigger projects, there's not really, or is nothing gonna really get started for the full repairs till probably beginning of October? Okay.
I guess we'll have this pre-bid meeting and we'll
Yeah, right.
learn from there.
Okay.
Okay.
They're gonna dictate the
Yeah.
Yeah.
timeline, fortunately.
Okay.
Good
Thank
information.
you.
Driveway right-of-ways?
Yeah, you want to take
I'll
that,
go
'cause
it
there's a
from
whole
here.
cluster of them.
Yeah, I'm going to make a motion to approve a driveway access onto a town highway at Mini Drive, tax number 43, parcel number 105C. These things
Are you
are,
doing all these individually?
I would, they're like individuals, so.
No, it just, they're all seem to be.
So I'll also
They
do,
all seem to be on the same parcel, that's my thing.
no, well,
Oh, I'm sorry, the same tax map, not the same parcel. I was
Right.
reading it wrong.
right.
Okay,
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm going tax map 43, parcel number 105C,
Lot C.
lot C, 105C. Okay? Motion, second one, someone second
Second and
it?
all that.
I mean, this is where Chet, as a Public Works, and Ricky went to. Did you go up on this, on these properties here or whatever?
No, I haven't.
Okay. So in the future, if you can just go ahead, because it's basically says that in our thing, it says that the town manager goes to. All right, so, or we change it to the public works director. Okay, but at the time that this was done, it was Chet who's doing it, so this is his last batch of,
Okay.
okay?
Yeah.
So, you got a second?
Second. I think you can batch them all
No,
together.
I'm just gonna go, because it does, yeah,
all in favor of parcel C? Please say aye.
aye. Next one is on Mini Drive also, same tax, same parcel, D, 105D though.
Motion.
Yeah,
Second,
okay. Is there anything we need to know about these?
we don't need to know anything because the foreman and public works director are the ones. They're just asking us, they say they went out and then that they investigated it and did it, so.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm just curious, with this number of driveways, how
Is it a-
expansive is this?
It's not that, because these two are on Mini Drive,
Yeah,
okay?
okay. All in favor of 105D, please say aye.
Aye. The next one is tax map 43-105 parcel E, and this is on Trailview Drive,
Yeah,
okay? Get a second?
Second.
all in favor of 105E, please say
Aye. The next one is 43-105B, and this is on Big Rock Road. Second?
Second.
All in favor of 105B, please say aye.
Aye. The next one is 43-105F. This is on East Mountain Road. Get a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor of 105F, please say aye.
Aye. Next one is 43-105G, which is on East Mountain Road again. A second?
Second.
All in favor of 105G, please say aye.
Aye. 43-105H on East Mountain Road.
Second.
Oh, sorry, stuck together. Yeah, all in favor of 105H, please say aye.
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 And just for those that are listening in, Chad as the manager at the time and Public Works with whatever, it comes in here, it says the driveway within the town right of way shall be no greater than 40 feet, no less than 20 feet, trees, brush. It goes on to say that the undersigned further agrees that an 18-inch culvert minimum. I'm gonna change, we've just approved it. We set up in this area, we're going to 24 inches.
There is on one of them, it says 24.
I was
Caught that.
I was gonna ask,
We
on the
went
first one.
24 all the way, because I just noticed on this last one, it says 18 inches, and we said that it would be 24 inches.
This page, or the
So the
conditions,
backside,
the third
okay.
page that says on the conditions, 24 inch.
Oh, okay, so here driveway permit conditions on this last one, I just think, a 30-inch culvert will be required at this location.
Okay.
So we approved or whatever, and that's what I was getting at where, so I was looking at the front page where, but then there's driveway conditions. So the last two have 30-inch culverts. So,
Okay.
all right.
I had a quick question about culverts, if you don't mind. So I know at the last board meeting, we talked about maybe amending this permit policy.
Well, we have to.
Yeah. I can set a deadline for like mid-October to have that done. I just wonder what some of the suggestions from the board are gonna be, and how we wanna communicate that with each other.
Let's put that down at managers or whatever, or other business.
Okay.
Let's move on, and we'll put that discussion in other business.
Cool.
Okay, is there any liquor control tonight?
I don't see any
She's
liquor.
not on, so I don't see anything.
Nope.
Okay. The proposed substation on Route 4?
Yeah, so GMP sounded pretty confident when I spoke to him last week that they'd be able to make the meeting tonight, and then they emailed me today and said they couldn't. So I would rather them here
Yeah,
Okay.
explaining it, but since it's on the agenda, I'll just give you a very rough idea of what they are looking at. Here's Route 4, here's Killington Road. GMP wants to install a substation, and they were talking about putting it in this area here. I think this is only like 2-point-some acres. They were saying to me 3. So we can probably expect at our next meeting for them to come and give you a better idea of what they're gonna be.
so now we
bidding
just
for.
bought 232 and 231.
It's 232, 231, right?
No, 231 is down where they are.
231 is where they're talking about.
Okay, 232, 231.
230,
Got it.
wasn't it? No.
Is that the 70, is that our land, I guess is the question.
That is our land.
Right, okay. Town of Killington, yeah. So the props to go to 232?
That's ours.
It might not changed yet.
Yeah, that's the one we
Okay.
just did. And then just do me a favor, go to 233B. Okay, that's not us, okay, so that's good. Go to 217. I think that's where it goes. Right, okay, so does it tell you how many acres it is when we're looking at these things here?
I can
So
pull
go
it
to
up.
232.
Okay.
Acreage is it's up above, it says 70.8
Yep.
acres. Okay, and then I think it's gonna have the abutting, so 231.
I'm gonna guess 2.3. Whoa, that's not right.
What does it say?
70.8.
No, so that's fine. That's the way the listers do it.
Okay.
So it's two different properties, 232 and 231, and they're abutting properties, so they put it underneath. So one of those lots is 60 point something acres, and the other one is,
Yep, so the total becomes.
3 or whatever.
Okay.
So you just have to get further into.
So hopefully they'll make it to our next meeting.
You have somebody in our waiting room, just so
Oh.
you know.
Good luck.
Popped up over
Ed
there.
is down there. We're just gonna need to get Ed's last name. We'll wait for him.
It's got a nice profile picture there. Hey, Ed, we just need a last name from you, and you're muted.
It's Herson.
Can you spell that so we can put it in the minutes? Ed,
Okay.
we're trying to figure out your last name spelling. If you could just send it to us in the chat, that would be great.
Having trouble. Nick?
Can you go to chat? Send them a message to.
Just spell the last
Just got
name.
out.
Okay.
We just got this.
Yeah, he said he was having trouble.
Yeah,
Okay, so.
they'll come back.
Okay.
So we'll wait for Green Mountain Power to come back?
I think that's the best idea.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it plays in, because we sat before with them in terms of distribution of power as it comes here. And they have talked about trying to secure our power more, so.
Yeah,
that'll be good for us.
yeah.
And should we involve Nicole in this? Because she's she's designing workforce housing.
Yeah,
Right next to the substation?
I'm right with, well, no, I mean, it's okay, but what I'm getting at is that we need to know what they're really thinking about, and then we need to
Right.
talk to Nicole about how does that work into.
Right.
So, yeah, Nicole's gonna need to
And
get,
are we looking, is she looking at a lower driveway that had come out on Route 4 down by where they're talking about this?
Nicole had two entrances, one
One was
off
up
of,
top.
right.
I know that.
Yep.
She wasn't really keen on the one down on Route 4,
Okay.
but she's always looking at
But
it.
we had the ability to
Right.
also to come off onto the old
Yeah.
before.
What we have to remember is what Nicole gave us was a quick.
Oh, no, I know, no.
And so,
Yeah.
we're gonna wanna talk to her and just make sure that now, if we're interested in with, or helping out with Green Mountain Power,
Yeah.
that we work it into it, so.
Okay. All right, so at this point, we good there?
Yeah,
Do we need to table this until Green Mountain Power actually comes
Yes.
to a meeting?
yeah,
Okay,
we're not taking any action on it.
yeah. Okay. Manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I can do some FEMA updates here. I actually had the dates written down in my report and didn't realize that. So September 13th is the pre-bid meeting, and then bids are due September 20th. So that's coming up pretty soon. I did order barriers for the Spartan race, and they're supposed to be here this week,
Tomorrow,
tomorrow.
the 12th.
Yeah.
How many do we order?
50?
Yeah, 600 feet.
Yeah, and we mapped it out with Craig Mosier, so he's helping us out with it. And I sent along the bus schedule to Whit and Paul, so they know what kind of resources they need out
I
there.
reached out to Whit saying that if they needed someone, because Saturday morning's like 5:30, okay, and then Sunday morning is 6 AM, that, if need be, just get a vehicle there, and I will help out from 5:30 till 10,
Oh, okay.
and then,
Do we need some postings so people know where they can park? To get on the bus?
the resort
Resort
has that
handle all
all.
that.
The resort, this is for the resort, we're just helping out here at this point here. of making sure that the bus is the only one that goes through the points, the
I'm
2
thinking in
points.
terms of all these people being on East Mountain Road, thinking they can drive up.
No, we're working with the fire department and the
Yep.
police department, and they're gonna be at where the barricades are that only
Okay.
will, and then say, no, you have to park here or go around to Killington Road.
That's my question.
That's it.
Okay.
No cars are gonna be able to get past the police or the
Right.
fire.
Okay,
And then up at Bear Mountain Road is gonna be the same thing. No cars are gonna be able to come down that way.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
All right, I'll work myself backwards here, and just like I told the seniors at the picnic, this is posted online in the calendar, so if anybody wants to see it, they can, which makes it difficult for me, because I don't know really what to go over, what's more important than, I just don't want to read through the whole thing, so. But general government operations, we have offered the vacant finance director position to an applicant, and we've also offered the planner position, and both have accepted, and we hope to bring them on late September, early October. And then Whit and I met last week. We had an excellent meeting. I've gone through the last month. Part of my kind of onboarding is the meeting with the different department heads, and I've done Chief Ginther, and then I met with Whit last week. I'm really impressed with the way he runs the department. He's got a strategic plan, and he's also said that I'm allowed to do a ride-along here in the next month or so, so I'll do that with one of his officers. We're looking at the vision revaluation contract. Our attorney has made revisions to it, and I've forwarded it back to Vision to see what their feedback's going to be. So I expect that probably to be in front of the board late September, early October.
I'm gonna stick to the vision thing since I went to the first bunch of meetings and then we've been listening too. And one of the concerns that I think you as a town manager should be watching on is that we were told that Vision was going to be doing a, for the resort based on income. And we want to have on the actual also like everybody else is being done on value, okay? And it gets confusing, even for people that are here. Everyone thinks of the resort as everything up there. The developer now owns pieces up there. And I've been asking the listers, when we say the resort is gonna be done by X, who's doing Great Gulf? And I haven't gotten an answer.
And that's something I need to follow up with them on, because from what I was told, the listers are supposed to be reviewing an RFP to send out for someone to do that valuation, that assessment. Does that sound right to you?
Right, so Vision was saying they weren't gonna do the resort, okay? And then we were told that we were gonna be putting out the resort. So that's where my question goes from, when you say you're not gonna do, they said they weren't gonna do the resort, were they gonna do the land for the land company, for the developer? Because it's not the resort.
I think that,
And I just wanna make sure that we are not getting caught up where we say the resort is being done and we miss the land company, the developer now. It used to be the land company, and we missed the developer.
Okay.
So we have to make sure that Great Gulf is included somewhere. And you can't do a reappraisal on a developer's property as income-based because they have no income. It has to be based
they
on
like that.
the land value. So let's just
They
make
would
sure
like
we
that.
do that. Yeah, everyone
Okay.
would love that. I know 2 board members that have some land that they have no income.
All right, and then Town Hall, this is, I don't know how much more I'm going to be adding on to this, because really, in a nutshell, we're working to get a design and then construction, and the end goal is to have everybody moved in there Spring, summer, as soon as possible, yeah. But I did apply for a Municipal Energy Resilience Program grant, also known as MERP. If anybody'd like more information on what MERP is, I've provided a link in the report here. And then Killington Forward Initiative, we're still waiting on a response from USDA regarding the 18.394 for the road project. The amended Act 250, I'm moving down the list now, the amended Act 250 permit for the well house entrance, underground power to the well house, the addition of a third well, and construction of 1,400 feet of
I'm gonna
water main
stop
along
there.
Route 4.
Let's
submitted.
cross out the 1,400.
Yes, sir.
So when we file that Act 250 coordinator asked about the 1,400, it was already approved along Route 4.
Okay.
And that was part of our reply back.
Got it.
So let's cross that out.
Crossed out.
Right. And what I think you're gonna see now is, since my daughter Megan does the minutes, I'm just bringing her the town manager's report.
Okay.
And she's going to put town manager's report, please see attached.
Okay.
So I'll have that point crossed out.
Okay, good. And, no, and I'm glad you guys are fixing me as I go along, because this is probably gonna happen for a couple more months. And then, but comments were received shortly after. It was a really quick turnaround from the team, so to get responses
That's
back
good.
to Act 250.
Between Naomi and Jeremy's Farkas.
Yeah, well, I had
Was
to
the
do,
next day.
I had to do one too. I had to get
Yeah.
the,
You had to do the.
yeah, the, for emergency vehicles.
Right.
So, not too much weight, but we got it turned around. Okay, what's the next one? To cover existing pre-construction expenditures, TIF, in the amount of 1.6 million, the town has begun drawing off of the 8.4 million line of credit from Moscoma. That's just the ban, which is a short-term loan to cover the costs up to this point. All right, Jim and I kind of debated about this earlier, about the step 1 and 2 of the forgivable SRF loan, and the amount of $666,000. That money should be available to us in the next 4 to 8 weeks, and that's for planning and design of the TIF.
That was the Wayne Elliott and Dufresne stuff.
So we allowed to take that money and pay down our line?
We actually already paid them.
Yeah, I know, so, we
So
take
some
it
of
back,
it is-
goes back into town funds.
It goes back in the town funds.
Got it.
So this $8.4 million loan that we did the 1 year, remember we used some of that to pay down the 1.5 million?
Yep.
Of what we spent, and out of that 1.5 million, this is 660-something thousand was out of there.
Okay.
So we're just replacing funds back as we get it in
Yep.
as grants.
Yeah, and all of this funding is kind of hard to, it's hard for me to wrap my mind around, let alone probably a layperson. So we're going to try to put together a graphic that we can have either in here and at town hall, so when people see it, they can keep track of our funding, right? So they kind of have an idea of where we're at with the project.
Good.
Dufresne Group held a 60% design completion meeting with the town for Contract 4. Minutes in this meeting are included in your packets. And
So now that's water line along East Mountain Road and Killington Road. This says to Ravine Road. We're backing it down to, to the end of the road project, which is by the lookout. Because when we had our meeting last Tuesday, we started getting into saying, like, here we are, we're gonna dig up the road to put in this water line, and then we're gonna dig it back up again to do the road. This section here, we're going to have, we'll call from the lookout to Ravine, will be section 5, and it should be the same timeline, it's just a different contract.
Okay.
So,
And then just a reminder that, no construction for these projects is starting, except for, people might see some tree cutting happening in October, and then we'll get, full swing shovels in the ground this spring.
Great.
That concludes my report.
Okay.
Nicely done.
We're back to
There-
citizens
Yeah.
input.
Is there
Oscar,
something-
Ryan, or Whit, any questions of what we did while we're in citizens input?
I have no questions at this time.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Ryan, you said you were having problems with your mic and you're just attending, so I'll take it the same thing. Whit, do you have any questions?
Nothing on my end.
Okay.
Thanks.
So other business we wanted to get into, the input on the driveway cuts, driveway permits. And you want, and we've been talking about putting a different driveway permit application and policy together. Okay, so sitting as a zoning administrator, okay.
Interim.
Interim,
always, please.
interim zoning administrator, that saves me. That lets me make mistakes, which I just made one. So interim zoning administrator, what I would really like to see is that you make the changes in there, and it is 20, where that area should be blank, and it should be up to the person that's in charge of going out there filling in what size culvert it is. Because this is just a blank thing that says 18-inch on it. We should have that blank, and then it has to be
Yep.
filled in for that area, because different areas are gonna take different things.
I would agree.
Okay. At the same time, I believe that when we give a driveway cut to somebody, we should be sending out the fire department, who is now also in charge of giving out a 911 address.
The trucks keep going by.
Yeah, they had a call.
Yeah.
So the fire department now is in charge of giving 911 addresses out. So in certain things like this here, they should be going so they know where something is being permitted for, and they can possibly give input there too at that time or whatever, for a truck to get in or whatever. So, but at the same time, giving a 911 address. And then I would just change this, because in our policy, I believe it says that the town manager's job is to do this. And now that we have a public work director and the foreman, I'm gonna leave it up to you of who you think should be doing it. But I think it basically says that the town manager and the road foreman goes out.
I think, I know that, this comes up with a lot of different things, but I do hate handing documents to the board that I can't really explain, or have someone here to explain it if questions come up. So that might be something I just deal with administratively, like review it before
Yeah.
the board meeting. It's just tight because, I got these, the day before.
Well, this was the last one for I'm aware of all of these.
Okay.
Okay? The other thing here is that when we do this new, the big thing that came up is here we are, we give a driveway permit, and it's done. But we don't know if it was really done.
Well, we need to make sure that it's.
So there was supposed to be a two-part to this.
Yeah.
We give a permit to construct the driveway, and then we give a certificate of completion, and they need to come back to do it.
And I think the fee structure needs to be adjusted as well.
Yeah, we're looking at 15 now. It's pretty low.
It's really low.
Now, I would check
When you look at the
this,
time for all involved of what we're asking for right now.
So here, this
I would
might
check
fix
this
it.
with Lucretia.
Yeah. this might
I
be
believe
statute.
this is a statute for a driveway cut.
Oh, it is?
I believe
Some
it is,
stuff is
because
like
there's
that.
really not a zoning fee on here. This is a recording. The $15 goes to recording.
What I might do is put more signature lines on here, and that'll, so I'll have to review it before it gets to the board, so maybe DPW, fire, town manager,
Yeah.
so we can't do any, oh,
Right.
hey, by the way, can you put these on the agenda tonight?
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
But the big things, Michael, is the completion, signed off that it was actually done.
Is that on there now, or?
No, it's not. Right now, they get this, it gets filed in,
They're
then
good for
they
life.
come for a house build.
Okay,
I just look for this,
yeah.
and I give them a permit. Now, in the future, if it has just because they have this, I'm gonna say, it's not, I need to see the completion for the driveway cut. They all need the driveway so they can get to the property to start building.
Okay.
God only knows, they might put their driveway on someone else's property.
What's the
too.
concern? The concern is that you're saying to somebody to put in a 30-inch culvert, right? And then they get in there and all of a sudden they hit a little ledge and they put in a 12-inch culvert.
So completion.
So then the 12-inch culvert gets clogged and then we have all the damage to the road.
So with the completion, it would be also going out and putting eyes on it.
Well, the completion has to be signed off that they went out and it was built as stated. The state of Vermont on Route 4 and Route 100, you get a state permit from V-Trans to build, and then they have to come in and sign off. I had to do a certificate of occupancy on the house, and they gave me their V-Trans permit, and I had to go back to the folks and said, it didn't sign off that you built it to their specs yet, I don't have a signature. The folks went to them, they had to do a bunch of other work in order to get that.
So it might get it, it's just my opinion, it might get a little confusing with you guys seeing the documents twice, one before and one after, so would it just be an administrative sign off?
The board is just signing off for it,
For it?
and then after that, it's the follow-up.
Just-
And then the zoning administrator will not give out a certificate of occupancy until.
Got it. And then, all right,
We're just
so,
giving permission for a driveway cut
Cut.
permit
yep,
to be constructed.
okay.
Then after that, it's up to the regular folks at Town Hall to follow through that it was built to.
Got it. And then, and then this came up a little bit earlier with debris that falls into the culvert. So you've got a clause here, underground, once installed, it is the owner's responsibility to keep the driveway and culvert free of snow and debris and to keep it accessible at all times. We sticking with that?
I think we take that up underneath contracts in an executive session.
I think I can put something together with that information.
Okay.
Have it to you, let's shoot for select board meeting in October, if that's okay. Okay.
So I'm gonna make a motion to go into executive session at 7:18. We're gonna go underneath contracts and personnel. All right, I can tell you that since it's contracts
anything we
and
gotta do?
personnel,
Oh. We've
I'm
got to
gonna
add that
hold
to
off
the
on my
agenda.
motion to go into executive
Okay.
session. So underneath other business,
My apologies.
we have one other thing in front of
There's
us.
also the fairy tale.
Oh, and the fairy
We should
tale.
at least mention it.
we did.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Michael, underneath other, you wanna mention the fairy tale thing?
No, I just found, I don't know if I know a whole lot about it. I hear that it gets a lot of visitors.
I'll just go through.
Go
So
for
the
it.
fairy tale is this year on September 16th, which is this upcoming Saturday.
Yes.
It's at the Sherburne Memorial Library on River Road. The year's lineup is 14 public libraries with tales including Harry Potter, Pirates of the Caribbean, Star Wars, Red Riding Hood, Peter Rabbit, Gingerbread Man, Make Way for Ducklings, etc. 10 craft vendors with fairy tale items, plants, jewelry, fairy hair, etc. Banana Children's Band, costume, characters, scavenger hunts for dragon eggs and fairies, free books for all ages, Fork in the Road food truck will be there, snow cones and snacks. What's gonna be new? Every child will receive Daisy Dollars, which can be spent at the Sherburne Library booth to purchase trinkets and treasures to take home. Every child receives a free picture book. We've added a snow cone machine and snack vendor, roaming performance. We have folks designated to park cars and help with the traffic on River Road. this board has approved for the last 2 years that the folks that are working the event, Michael, other librarians, like we talked to 14 public libraries, they can park in the back of the gate behind the highway department. No one else parks back there, because these are the folks that they park there in the beginning, and then when they leave, when it's all over.
Okay.
All right, so no one else is supposed to, you have that, right, Whit? Whit, you still there?
Yeah, I got that. We're gonna be tied up though over at,
You'll be tied up on the other area there or whatever, but we do, that's how it's been worked, right? It's just the people that are
Yes.
doing the event park in the back,
yes, yep.
all right? You know, this goes on that they're gonna have a vendor who will be manning a booth called the Fun Flush. It's a simple version of dunking booth. They're asking for somewhere in here, as the library director, Jane, I am happy to still sit still long enough to be flushed, but I have a feeling we might be able to make quite a tidy sum of money for children and families in Killington if the distinguished members of the Selectboard might consider taking a turn in the chair. Some may raise more money than others, just a thought. She says just a thought.
It also says, I'm only kidding.
Am only kidding, but still a thought. You know, and they acknowledge that there's 2 other events in the area, the Spartan Race, and then down in Rutland, there is the Whoopie Pie Festival. I believe Dreammakers is making some 700 and something pound whoopie pie
Yep.
on that day.
Wow.
Yeah, I think they set a record last year
Big.
with the one they built.
So, I'd love to be there for the dunking thing, Jane, but I've already volunteered to be up on East Mountain Road from 5:30 in the morning till 10.
Okay.
Sounds like you're free at 11.
Okay.
Okay, and then we have a request for forgiveness on a
So-
late homestead submittal.
Yeah, I mean, once again, this is really, this is really personnel or whatever. I mean, he's asking, since he's come straight out. Alex Kerpel up on Dean Hill Road, didn't file his homestead on time.
And behind, what I've got stapled there is an email that he sent to me, which is
You
his
know,
just.
saying this is the first time I have ever requested relief for a late charge or have accrued a late charge. My receipt for paying taxes this year is April 14th, but there was a mistake made requiring electronic signature, thus the homestead declaration being recognized late. The town is able to, at their discretion, relieve this late fee surrounding the issue of municipalities and this year's multiple duplicate deductions for first tax payment. This would be greatly appreciated.
Now, did you guys hear about the trouble that the town had with MuniPay, or more specifically, MuniPay's contract with Paya? Okay, so if not, Paya is like the back door of MuniPay. And Paya, there's a flaw in their system. So what was happening? So people were getting double charged for tax payments. This didn't happen to everybody, but some people got double charged, and he was one of them. And then when he asked, I just want one of those back, they gave him both of them back. And then he had an extra like $3,000 dumped into his account, so he had to work with Paya. So this did happen, so I just want to be clear with what he's talking about.
So I want to be clear, the receipt of paying your taxes has nothing to do with filing a homestead. Filing your taxes with the state of Vermont is a homestead. Okay, so my receipt for paying taxes, it has nothing to do with paying your taxes. It has with filing, so he was
It has
not,
nothing to do with filing his homestead.
it has nothing to do with filing his homestead. Paying taxes this year is his federal or whatever. So that has nothing to do with what you just told me was a bill that was built out in August.
Yeah.
not in April. So
Okay,
I,
so-
you know, a little.
Just clarifying his point about the PIA thing. Well, he
So-
didn't mention PIA, but.
So he made 2 payments at once, and then they got returned to him?
He made, when he went to go pay his taxes online.
In what
he,
month?
uh,
Which payment, the third payment or first?
I think it was the first payment.
Okay.
I don't think he was paying it in, no.
He made
By
the
amount.
first payment
I don't think
in
it was
full.
Oh, he did make it
He
in
made
full.
the first payment of 3
Uh-huh.
in full.
Yeah.
And there was something that went wrong with the
He
computer.
timed out.
It timed out,
Yeah.
and then he didn't realize, and he went back in, and he got charged a second time.
Yeah. And what was tricky about it is when you looked at MuniPay or the town records, it looked like he'd only paid once. But he told us that it was clear in his bank statement that he had paid twice. So we had to contact MuniPay, and then MuniPay said, well, we got to contact PIA, and PIA said, yeah, our records show that we drew twice.
And then when we went to refund him back 1 payment, because he paid 2, Muni or Pyre paid him back 3 times.
Okay. So,
But that has nothing to do with the homestead filing.
That's correct.
okay, so why is he being charged a penalty?
Because he filed his homestead late.
So once again, he is not being charged for a penalty. You have to get rid of the August 15th payment. Forget about that. It has nothing to
Okay.
do with this here.
Now, he did receive a late, well, he would have received a late penalty, but I waived it because of PIA. So, and by penalty, I mean, late payment of taxes.
Let's forget about the August payment.
Yeah, yeah. He's
The
just talking
August
about-
payment, the payment of the property taxes has nothing to do with what's in front of us tonight.
That's correct. He just brought it up.
What
in
we
his
have in
justification.
front of us tonight is that he did not file his homestead by August 17th, not 14th, because your taxes weren't due until the 17th or the 18th of April. And you still have time, I believe it's till June or July, to get your homestead in without a penalty, okay? So, he
Yeah.
didn't file his homestead, which generates your homestead or your non-homestead tax rate. So what happened was, his first tax bill, he got the $2.27 that a non-homestead property owner gets. And then the one that we have in front of us now is the correct one, showing a homestead at $2.47, okay? And why it says here now, non-homestead education also at 2.283, I have no idea.
That's because he's claiming 20% of the property is non-homestead.
As a business.
Correct.
Oh, hip camp,
Yep, can.
yeah, okay. So,
Okay, yeah. And then the
Okay.
total amount that he's being charged or.
so the town
The penalty is $644.58.
The town
Well, this is
has,
where I'm,
the town has saying that if you are late filing your homestead, there is a 6 or a 7%,
8%.
8% penalty. So anyone that not filed their homestead on time received an 8% penalty.
so,
Okay?
but the homestead rate is higher,
Correct,
so he didn't file properly.
correct.
So,
He filed late, so now this corrects, and he's paying the higher rate. But we have a separate policy that says if you file your homestead late, you get an 8% penalty. If you bring up what a hardship is, nothing there states it. So what really is getting confusing here is that he's confusing the group with saying that his property taxes got messed up at whatever, but that was in August, has nothing to do with filing your homestead. And April 17th or 18th, because you've got that Monday is Boston Marathon or whatever, okay? So the taxes is only due after on that Tuesday. He didn't file his taxes correctly. And there are other people in town that didn't do it either. So if we want to give one person, then I'm gonna sit here and say you give every person. We treat all the same, not just because someone's coming in. I can tell you 1 year, my accountant forgot to file my homestead on time. It's not a hardship. My accountant messed up.
I would say we take no action.
Yeah.
I think the explanation was good, thank you, and I understand what happened on the other side of things, so if that came up, but the reality is that I don't see any
If
reason
you,
to
we
abate
were
this.
going to forgive not filing correctly on time, what's to keep people from filing it correctly on time after that? Because they're
Correct.
going to expect it all to be forgiven.
Set a precedent. We allowed during Irene,
Well, that was different, yes.
the one time
Yeah.
that we allowed it,
Mhm.
okay?
Yeah.
And because they had changed, it wasn't really Irene, they changed the ruling. It used to be you filed your homestead one time,
Mhm.
and it carried on all the ways through until you sold your property. And then in 11 or 12, they made it that every year you had to file a homestead. So we forgave it that one time. We have never forgiven it before, again. So, no, thank you.
Do we?
Let them know. No action taken.
No action taken.
Okay, so now I'm gonna say we'll make a motion to go into executive session at 7:32 for personnel and contracts. It's personnel, it's contracts. We're not gonna get anywhere with this. It's a discussion with the town manager. We're not gonna come out and make any, take any action. So